I want to go back to Honeywell and the global portfolio that you're working with at this point in time. How different do you believe the company is likely to look over the next 5 years? Are you also looking at to sort of evaluate your portfolio at this point in time and see what fits, what is relevant, in your words, to take forward, what perhaps has outlived its utility and its purpose? How different could your portfolio look like over the next few years?
So if you look at us, we always evolved our portfolio. What Honeywell is in 2023 looks very different from what it was in 2015. Since that time, since last 7-8 years, we had two major spins of our homes business and our turbocharger business. We made several big acquisitions. And if history is an indicator, that's going to continue, in the times to come. And as I mentioned, we really want to focus on those three big macros: automation, air travel, and energy transition. So you expect Honeywell to be heavily focused on these three big themes, and that's how our portfolio will evolve. And most part, our portfolio is like that. There are probably less than 10% of our business which doesn't fit into these three themes. So clearly, when the right opportunity is, we'll do some pruning, and our acquisition will be heavily focused on these three big themes.
Mm-hmm. That 10% pruning that you spoke of, do you believe that you're on the cusp of being able to start that out? And what will that pruning eventually entail?
Yeah, so those are no one big thing. Thankfully, these are more like product lines. We review that with board, and we have some financial goals. When we are able to achieve those financial goals, we'll evaluate, any divestment opportunity. But we are never in any hurry, because we don't want to do it as a time-bound target. We want to do it when we get the right financial returns, and we run those businesses well. So I would say that simplification is a priority, and we will do it at the right time when we get right return for our shareholders for the segments which are lesser fit into our portfolio.
Okay, so accelerating the three priority areas and simplifying the overall sort of portfolio in keeping with those priorities, that clearly seems to be the focus for you. I want to understand from you, as you look at the world today, and you spoke about some of the opportunities that the company is focused on, that you as CEO are going to be focused on. But if I may ask you, what are the key risks that you're factoring in today? What are the key concerns that you're sort of preparing or geared up for?
I think key is, Shereen, remains the geopolitical situation. We expect the world to not bring any more surprises. I think nobody predicted COVID happening in 2020. Nobody predicted a very high inflationary market happening in 21 and 22, or Ukraine war. So the risk always is the risk of unknown. And we in Honeywell has always dealt with it quite well. We expect to do that. But if less of that is there, we can perform much better for our shareholders.
Yes, the hope is that we don't get hit by any further black swan events. But Vimal, 34 years at Honeywell, you started your career at PSU back in India before you moved to Honeywell, and it's been quite a journey for you. We've of course gotten used to the idea of seeing a lot of the large multinational tech companies having Indian origin CEOs. We're now starting to see that trend pick up outside of tech, and you're of course a great example of that. Why do you believe we're seeing the rise of Indian origin CEOs, not just across corporate America, but globally? What do you think is the X factor? What is making this trend tick?
I have one funny answer and one serious answer. One funny answer is that we are 20% of the world population. So if 20% CEOs are from India, that should not be surprising, right? That's on the lighter note. I think enough has been written on that, so I'm not going to offer any new opinion. But the fundamental challenging environment many of us go through, dealing with uncertainty and dealing with complexity, prepares us for managing complex organization. I think that's my thesis. The uncertainties in India, we don't like it. When we grew up, India was a country of shortages. There was no electricity. There was not enough water. Roads were less. Things of that nature. But the good news is how you learn and survive through that prepares you for dealing with difficult circumstances on a daily basis. And managing organization is in the end dealing with difficult circumstances every day, provide solution, lead the teams. And I believe that that training or that mindset prepares people from Indian origin, relatively better compared to others, but there's enough thesis and research on that, so I'm not going to offer any new opinion to you.
Well, and I guess that's perhaps why you also enjoy taking on complex challenges as you have through the course of your career. The Prime Minister is going to be here. Prime Minister Modi is going to be meeting with President Biden. And we were just speaking with, many experts here who believe that the aspiration that India and the U.S. Should have in terms of bilateral trade should be at least $500 billion, if not more. In fact, we should aim higher. And many of the areas that, could be of mutual interest and of mutual benefit are areas that you just spoke about as opportunities for Honeywell. How do you see the US-India relationship? What's your expectation, your ask and your hope from this meeting between Prime Minister Modi and President Biden?
I would say the relationship is extremely well. So take it to the higher level is expectation of everyone. There are technology areas which have been well identified, ICET areas. So we talked about manufacturing broadly, but in particular, high-tech manufacturing. Defense remains an area of mutual cooperation. We as Honeywell has interest in that, so we'll certainly support what both governments want to propose forward. Sustainability, climate change is an area of mutual interest. It's an area where collective will of all human beings is required to solve the challenges in front of us, so that collaboration should improve. India is doing some great steps. We in US have a lot of great technologies to offer, so how do we form a bridge to do that faster is another area I think we can do better. And finally, I would say in the area of computing, cybersecurity, that's another area where there's more collaboration and opportunities are there to work together. But it's like when the good news becomes better. This is something which is working extremely well. I had a chance to speak with Ambassador Sandhu a few days back, put forward our point of view. And I think opportunities like that are ample where we have access to the leadership of Indian government. They listen to us, they take our point of view. And I think that's a catalyst which I presume will continue to improve our relationship between the two countries.
You said that you met with Ambassador Sandhu and you put your points of view forward on what you believe should be done to nurture and further amplify and accelerate this partnership. Top 3 priority items that you put on the table.
It was the same things, Shereen, I mentioned. It's, developing more next step of policy in sustainability of climate change. That certainly, it's a joint agenda of two countries under ICET framework. How we collaborate more in the area of defense, because that's a priority for India, and we in Honeywell have a lot of expertise in that area, so how we bring that forward. So those two are, to me, the top 2 priorities from Honeywell perspective.
Vimal, you talked about computing and cybersecurity as being potential areas of partnership and collaboration. But I also want to understand from you, everyone at this point in time is talking about AI and how AI is going to be transformative and disruptive for not just organizations, but for humanity. How are you gearing up for an AI-led, AI-driven world? What kind of bets are you placing on that front?
So I would say it's early days for AI. We have to overcome the hype factor and figure out what do you do with it. And we are certainly looking at several areas to apply AI, both in context of our own operations, but also in context of our customers, because we have to look at from both the lens. For a company like Honeywell, which is an industrial manufacturing company, we see big use of AI in our software development. As you can imagine, there's a huge anticipation that coding work, software development work will dramatically become more efficient. So clearly we should benefit from that. We also see a lot of tasks in which we interface with our customer, like technical support, those functions can be heavily automated. And that's good for our people and good for customers because those are skills which are not easily available. So AI can complement that. And then on the offering side or on the product side, we believe that a lot of work we do on our software platform, Forge, how we monetize that data for better use for our customers using AI is something we have to evolve. We will work with our customers, our partners, and do that. So I would say it's exciting, but we have to score some runs here to turn that excitement into real business benefit for ourselves and for our customers.
Speaking of runs, Vimal, what are you passionate about currently outside of business and outside of the role that you play as CEO? Are you managing to catch up with cricket? What else is driving you? What else do you make sure that you get to spend a little bit of your time on?
Yeah, cricket, not as much. I mean, of course, I am a big cricket fan, but I think as you start living outside, you slowly lose touch to it. But staying healthy is my passion. I would say how you keep yourself, because your work is quite stressful. So you make sure that you're able to deal with the stress. So keeping yourself fit and maintaining a good, healthy regime is my big passion outside work.
Well, Vimal, we wish you the very best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you back home in India. And congratulations once again on your new role, your tenure, and look forward to seeing you.
Sure, and good luck with your trip in US, and best of times ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, that is Vimal Kapur, the new CEO of global giant Honeywell, speaking to us, his first interview since he took over. That's it then on this edition of our special series, Global Dialogue. We're coming to you live from Washington, D.C., right outside the White House. For now, from all of us here on the team, goodbye. Thanks for watching.